Welcome back to the cabin, everyone. Today I'm gonna mostly work on my utility shed out there. Right now I basically have one circuit for a light in the shed and then one circuit for 3 outlets. I'm gonna actually put in 2 more circuits for various outlets, and I'll explain what those circuits are for when I get out there. So come along with me and let's see what all I do today. I think today will be a good day to burn some trash. It's only paper products. Whoa! This is slippery as can be. There's a sheet of ice everywhere. It actually warmed up the last few days, and it had freezing rain yesterday evening and last night. So now everything's just a sheet of ice. Let's stay here for a few minutes and make sure it's going. Okay, enough playing around. We're burning daylight here. Let's get back to work. I'm over here at the shed, and as you can see, the fire's still burning over there. Right now, let me move a couple things. As you can see, I have 2 circuits. This one's for the light, right there. And this one is a GFCI breaker, and it's for this outlet which the internet is connected into, another outlet down here that nothing is connected into, and an outlet right out back here that the cabin is plugged into. I want to put the cabin on its own single breaker, at least for the time being, so I want to put another breaker in here for stuff that's going to be inside the shed here, which will be the internet, possibly a little fan, and then the heater once I get the water hooked up and stuff. And then the other outlet I want to do is I want to put a plug somewhere right out here. I'll move this foam out of the way, and that will be so I can plug my 2 trucks in at night. I want those on their own separate breaker. So let's get busy. I got at least 1 more wire to run, and then I need to start hooking things up. So let's get busy and get this done. It's pretty tight in here, and I can't really put a video camera in here to show what I'm actually doing. So basically I'm gonna take this wire, leave a long tail on it like this one, run it up, over, and then down, and look at putting the plug right in this area somewhere. So I'm gonna do that, and I'll catch back up with you guys here in a little while. I don't know how well you guys can see this. It looks like the lens might be fogged up. I tried wiping it off, but I don't know. Well, I got this wired in. This is just on there for the moment. So I got this all wired in. And that fits on there, but I still got to put the screws in, obviously. And then I got this one at the same spot. It's wired in. And here's the 2 wires that come in, so I'll need to work on those now. And here's the electrical panel without the panel on it. This is to the outlets here in the shed that are already existing, like this one. And this also feeds the cabin. And then this one right here is for the light that I showed you earlier. I'm going to put these 2 in. They're both 20 amp ground fault interrupter breakers, GCFI. So I'm going to obviously go around back, turn off the electric, and then start working in here. The electric's still on at the moment, but first get these put in, and then put in the breakers and hook everything up. So let's go in and get the electric turned off. First I gotta go inside, turn off the Toyo stove. The Toyo stove is the heater for the cabin. I'm in the cabin. Let's go ahead, turn the Toyo off. Well, not to change the subject, but look at how foggy it got. This is what I have. I got this box wired up right here. This box is going to be for plugging my truck in. And then I have this box all wired up. And this is for the heater and the fan and the internet that's going to be out here in this shed. And both wires just come to right here at the moment. And this is still live at the moment, so I'm going to be careful. But this breaker is for the light, and this breaker is for the existing 3 outlets. This one, a one down here, and then the one outside that the cabin is plugged into. So I'm going to go around back and turn off the electric now. So this is my generator disconnect switch. It has 3 settings. This is MEA, the local electric company. Then it has a setting in the middle that is nothing. And then if I put it all the way down, then I can hook up a generator and run generator power if the electric goes out for an extended period of time. I still need to buy that cord to hook the generator up to it. It's on my list, I just haven't done it yet. So I'll get that hooked up and everything eventually here one of these days. So let's throw the switch. Okay, now there's no power going into the box here. So let's throw the light switch. And take a look at this. Yep, all the juice is out of that, so there's no more juice, so I'm gonna start and wire these 2 in. And I'll catch back up with you here in a little bit. It's just a little too crowded inside here. I got the 2 breakers wired in. I do need to get one of those one of these plastic things for right here, but unfortunately I don't have any at the moment. But I have the 2 wires coming down, the 2 bare copper wires, the grounds come over here and they attach right here. And then the other 4 wires, the 2 black and 2 white ones, they come down over here. And as you can see, these 2 go into this one and these 2 go into this one. I don't really care which breaker goes to which outlets, so I'll label it after the fact. So let's go around back, Well, first, these are off. So let's go around back and re-energize the system and see if the shed burns down. Well, I didn't hear any sparks or anything like that. Let's go in and confirm there's electric going to the shed. Well, I don't see any smoke or anything like that. I'm gonna flip this switch. Let's see what happens. Okay, there's electric there. And this should have some lights flashing. Yep. The power light's going, so it's going through its settings to come back on. Unfortunately, I'm going to unplug that here in a little bit again and plug it in over here. So let's see what happens when I flip the first switch. This should be the outside. Let me break out my handy dandy new tester tool and see what happens. I got my little tool out, my little tester tool here. They make those packages so hard to get things out of them. But if I wired it correctly, I should get 2 green lights and nothing. And the electric goes into this outlet here. And then it jumps over to this one. So let me test this one first. Okay, that means it's wired correctly. And if I push the GFCI, the outlet should trip. Let's see if we hear it trip. Yep. And now, as you can see, it's been tripped. So turn it off and then turn it back on. And I got the lights again. So let's take it out and let's move it over to this one. Okay, that one's right. And let's test this one also. Yep. And again, you can see it's been tripped. It's not quite in line here. So turn it off and turn it back on. And I got the lights. So this one, as of right now, should be nothing. Let me throw the breaker. Uh-oh, I got something wrong. I got something wrong. Let me figure out what's wrong and I'll get back with you guys here in a minute. Here's the scenario going on. I called my electrician friend who he sent his guys out to actually hook all this up initially. And he said if this happens, there's a chance the breaker itself might be bad. Because if I press the tester right here, it trips it off. As you can see, it's off now. And now it's back on. He said, take the breaker out and make sure the 2 wires going into it are good and tight also. And so I turned off the electricity, took the breaker out. The wires did seem a little loose, so I made sure I tightened them good and tight. It still doesn't solve the problem, as you can see here. Other thing I'm going to try now is I'm going to turn off the electricity. I do have another breaker right here. And he said once in a long time it could be the breaker that's bad. So I'm going to give this breaker a try and see what happens. I switched out this breaker. This is the one I had hooked up. And this is the other spare I had. So let's go ahead and energize it. We got electric over there. Let's test it here. Okay, that's working right. Now let's see if this trips it. Nope. I think I know one thing I'll try is I'll move it down 1 or 2 spaces and see what happens. Here's what I have. So I checked both GFCI 20 amp breakers on this spot right here. Neither one worked. And then I moved it down 1 spot and tried it, and it worked just fine. So the breakers are good, but something about that spot and the GFCI was not working, so I decided to go ahead and just put a regular 20 amp breaker in. It's going to be inside the shed here, so, and there's no water. Well, there is water, but it's not like it's a sink or anything like that in here. So I don't think I really need a GFCI outlet in here. So as you can see, that's hooked up properly. Let me switch it over to the other outlet and see what happens. I think I finally got it hooked up and everything. Just to recap, I added this GFCI breaker, and that goes to these outlets, which I still need to get the box put on. And then I put this regular 20 amp. These are all 20 amps on this side. That's a 15. I put this 20 amp breaker on for this outlet. And I did test both of my other GFC breakers that I have, these extra ones, and they are good. They just don't work in this spot right here, and I think I figured it out. I don't know if you can see it, but that little black dot in the rail, that is a little button that the rail actually snaps into to hold it on, and it sticks up like a 32nd of an inch to maybe a 16th of an inch above the rail. And talking it over with my electrician friend, we think that's just high enough to cause the GFCI breaker not to make a good contact to throw the breaker, to trip the breaker. So, lesson learned, can't put a GFCI breaker on that spot. There, this project is done. I'm in the mood to actually do some editing tonight, so I'm gonna jump up there, edit rest of the night, try to get a video or 2 out for you guys, and I'll catch back up with you guys on the next video. Have a good night, everyone.